He said subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَإِذَا قُضِيَتِ الصَّلَاةُ فَانْتَشِرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ وَابْتَغُوا مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. When the salat is done, when the prayer is done, go out and spread yourselves on earth and seek the provisions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala often, so that you might attain success. We pause on this ayah, on this verse, and we try to explain it briefly because it contains so much benefit for everyone who wants to learn. After salat, after you pray, you leave the masjid, you leave the place of prayer, and you go out there and start working and start seeking the provisions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. While you are working, while you are seeking the provisions of Allah, you must remember Allah at all times. And if you do that, you will be successful when seeking provisions and when seeking reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Islam teaches you to pray. Salah is something that is the right of Allah. Once the right of Allah is complete and done, then your right comes after that. You must go out there and seek the provisions of Allah. Work hard, study hard, look for the divine decree that Allah decreed for you. Your risk, your provisions are somewhere out there, but all you have to do is take actions to get them. You can't sit in a masjid all day long and thinking that the sky will rain gold or silver. No. You can't say Allah decreed for me my provisions and my destination, so why would they go out there and start working and study hard and do this? Allah already written for me what I'm meant to have. No. Allah, yes, wrote down for you what you're meant to have. Only because He knew what you're meant to have, because Allah is the all-knowing. But you chose what you wanted to have. You chose what you wanted to have. You chose to go and study. You chose to go and look for a job. Because of your good choice, you attained that kind of success which is related to this worldly life. Allah wrote down your choice because of His knowledge. But the choice was totally yours. And you couldn't choose, obviously, until Allah permits you to choose. As Allah says, وَمَا تَشَاءُونَ إِلَّا يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. You cannot win until Allah wills. But Allah will give you a free will and do as you wish. So Allah is telling you, my worship is first, and then after you worship me, you go out there and seek that which will benefit you in your dunya and in the hereafter. But He gave you some rules. When you are seeking the provisions of Allah, when you are seeking for what Allah decreed for you, this is money, this is wealth, this is education, this is health, this is family. When you are seeking to improve that or to increase that, there is some rules which should be with you at all times. The remembrance of Allah. Do you know what it means in this ayah? وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ ذِكْرًا كَثِيرًا. And remember Allah often as you are seeking your provisions. This means the dhikr, okay, the verbal dhikr. As you are working, you say astaghfirullah, alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar. You are walking, you are writing, you are in the office, you are teaching. You try your best to remember Allah as often as you can. Verbal remembrance. But the main remembrance in here is the remembrance of having awareness of Allah. Knowing that Allah is watching you. Knowing that Allah is listening to every literal thing that you say. Knowing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all aware of everything that you are doing, whether internal action or external ones, whether what you intend with your heart or what you do with your limbs. Allah is all aware of that in details and general.
Sorry for interruption. Who drives a kind of city blocking people?
There is a car blocking people outside. What is it again?
It's a silver.
A silver car.
Yeah.
If anyone has a silver car outside that, please remove it from the way. Barakallahu fikum. Now, so remember Allah as you are seeking your provisions. Verbally and mainly how? Physically. You don't do haram. You fear Allah. You're about to do something haram, you remember that Allah sees you. You're about to say something haram, you remember Allah that can hear you. That's how you remember Allah. And often, you do that often, and you increase in doing that. That's what Allah says. Dhikran kathira. A lot, much of the remembrance of Allah. If you do that, Allah promised something. What? Success. لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. You might attain success. Success, number one, that is related to this dunya, your payment, your wealth, your children, your riches, your happiness in this dunya, it will be guaranteed for you if you implement the rules of Allah when seeking His provisions. And the main success that will come after this life, the success of the hereafter. What success is that? Is to be free from the hellfire and to gain the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the main success. ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْفَوْزُ الْمُبِينَ الْعَظِيمُ. Allah referred to it in different ways in the Quran. He says, this is the great success. This is the great achievement. This is the clear achievement and success that a person can attain in his entire or her entire existence. The next ayah reads after this, Allah says, لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ وَإِذَا رَأَوْا تِجَارَةً أَوْ لَهْوًا انفَضُّوا إِلَيْهَا. If they see a trade or amusement, they would rush to it. وَتَرَكُوكَ قَائِمًا. And they would leave you standing. قُلْ مَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ خَيْرٌ مِنَ اللَّهْوِ وَمِنَ التِّجَارَةِ. Tell them, O Prophet Muhammad, what Allah has better than trade and business and better than worldly pleasures. وَاللَّهُ خَيْرُ الرَّازِقِينَ. And Allah is the best provider, Jalla Jalaluh. There is an incident behind this ayah. I'll finish here, inshallah ta'ala. In Medina, once the Prophet Muhammad was given a khutbah. It is in Muslim Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, and many mufassirun of the Quran mention this incident. He was given a khutbah, and then a trade caravan came to Medina. And the people who were attending the khutbah, they were listening to the Prophet giving the sermon. So when they heard the drum, the deaf being played outside the mosque, and they heard the noises of the people cheering outside the mosque, they knew that this is a caravan of trade came from Sham, from Syria. Some of them were too excited. What did they do? They stood up and left the masjid and left the Prophet standing giving the khutbah and headed to what? To the caravan of trade. It contained oil, veg, dry food. They rushed to it. When this happened, Allah revealed this ayah which you just had, the last ayah of surah Aljumua. If they see trade or worldly pleasures, they would rush to it. And they left you what? They left you standing, O Prophet Muhammad, giving the khutbah. And Allah, at the end of the ayah, He says, Allah is the best to provide you. This caravan which contains trade, food, or whatever it has, it might be good, yes, but what Allah has is much better. It was better for them if they remain in the masjid, listening to the Prophet of Allah until he finishes, and then after that, they take the order of Allah. If the salat is done, you walk out of the masjid and seek the provisions of Allah in accordance to the teachings of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the narrator said that all of them went out except 10 people, and amongst them it was Jabir radiallahu anhu arda, and Abu Bakr and Umar, who remained listening to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the narration doesn't mention names more than this. And in some narration, 40 of them remained in the masjid listening to the Prophet ﷺ, and the rest went out, rushing to that trade of caravan. Allah revealed this ayah, telling them what Allah has is better than what you can have in this dunya, which is the success of this dunya and mainly the hereafter. In surah Aljumua, in surah Al-Munafiqun, Allah says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَا تُلْهِكُمْ أَمْوَالُكُمْ وَلَا أَوْلَادُكُمْ عَنْ ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. O you who believe, your wealth and your children should not keep you busy from Allah, should not keep you away from Allah. وَمَنْ يَفْعَلْ ذَلِكَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْخَاسِرُونَ. And whoever does that, whoever gives precedence to his wealth and children before Allah and His Messenger, then they will be losers. Losers in this dunya, and most importantly when? In the hereafter. Give priority to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His faith, His religion. Because if you do that, Allah will bless you from what you do not expect. Promise. Allah promised this. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. He who fears Allah, Allah will find a way for you. وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبْ. And He will provide you. He will enrich you from what you do not expect. وَمَنْ يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ. And he who places his trust in Allah, then Allah will be sufficient for you. إِنَّ اللَّهَ بَالِغُ أَمْرِهِ. The promise of Allah and the divine decree of Allah will come to you. Whatever Allah wrote for you will come to you. So always remain firm when it comes to the remembrance of Allah and the obedience of Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nothing should keep you away from Allah. Nothing except His remembrance or His obedience. Jalla Jalaluhu subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then He says, وَأَنْفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقْنَاكُمْ. And give from that which we have provided you. Give sadaqah for the sake of Allah. مِنْ قَبْلِ أَنْ يَأْتِيَ أَحَدَكُمُ الْمَوْتِ. Before death comes to one of you. فَيَقُولَ رَبِّ لَوْلَا أَخَّرْتَنِي فَيَقُولْ رَبِّ لَوْلَا أَخَّرْتَنِي إِلَىٰ أَجَلٍ قَرِيبٍ فَأَصَّدَّقَ وَأَكُنْ مِنَ الصَّالِحِينَ. He will say, when death comes to this individual, he will say, Oh Allah, delay me, stretch my life a bit longer. Allow me to live a bit more. Why? So that I would give charity and I would be from the righteous. وَلَا يُؤَخِّرَ اللَّهُ نَفْسًا إِذَا جَاءَ أَجَلُهَا. And Allah does not delay anyone when their appointed time comes, i.e. that death comes. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Jalla Jalaluhu. So we must be very aware of the rights of Allah and His deen. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, Jalla Jalaluhu. Yes, we've just submitted to Allah, we obeyed Allah, we pray. But this worship does not finish here. Even when we are out there studying or working or having fun, we must be aware and we must be mindful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we must implement the teachings of Rasulullah wherever we might be, and remember Allah often, because that's the only way to the true success that is related to this dunya and in the hereafter. There is no other way to true success. We're talking about the true success, not the success that will last for a few years or a few decades, and then Allah will destroy it and leave only that which benefits in the hereafter. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us from those who receive halal provisions and those who follow the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and those who remember Him at all times and very often. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us die upon His faith and upon the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wa barakallahu fikum wa hayyakum Allah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.